Having said that, now let us turn to Ashura in the Qur'an. And Ashura will be the event of the parting of the sea from Musa alayhi salam. The Prophet said sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam that there were 124,000 prophets. And yet in the Qur'an, which is the last revelation from Allah, there are only about 24 whose names are mentioned. And of those 24, the overwhelming majority are prophets who were sent to Banu Israel. My question is, why has Allah done this? Makes mention of only about 24 out of 124,000. And then selects only, most of them, only from the prophets sent to Banu Israel. Question number 2. Of these 24, most of whom are prophets who were sent to Banu Israel, one prophet, one, commands more space in the Qur'an than all the others combined. One prophet. And his name is Musa alayhi salam. One prophet commands more space in the Qur'an than all the other prophets combined. And the question I want to ask tonight is, why? So let me drink some water while you are thinking about these two questions. Bismillah. Okay, since Raus is in front of me, you get a chance to be the first to answer. Muhammad, you next. Okay, he's still thinking. Still thinking. What happened? You didn't drink Teh Tarik before coming? Anybody? Who would like to try? Yes. Hassan Mahmood. Because they are the chosen people of Allah. Okay, anybody else? This is evidence that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself did not produce the Qur'an. Good answer, yes, good answer. Anything else? Because? No. Musa ﷺ did not live 1,000 years. The only prophet we know of whose age is mentioned in the Qur'an is the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, who preached for how long? 950 years. Yes? That in the process of narrating the story of Musa alayhi salam and of other prophets of Banu Israel, the Qur'an exposes fraudulent statements made in the Torah. That's true. Anything else? Why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selected most of the prophets from Banu Israel to make mention in the Qur'an? And why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selected one of those prophets, the main prophet sent to Banu Israel, Musa alayhi salam, to command more attention in the Qur'an than all the other prophets combined. Why? I didn't hear you. Oh, he showed a lot of mercy to Banu Israel. Anybody else? To give warnings. Because the first revelation that came was the Torah. That's why it commands so much space in the last revelation, which is the Qur'an. Anybody else? Because the Jews are very stubborn, that's why. Okay, anybody else? Alright. Yes?
The events that occurred during this prophet will give us clues what's going to happen in the future.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. The events which occurred in the lives of these prophets, and in particular the life of Musa alayhi salam, will help us to understand events which are to occur in the rest of history. A very, very perceptive comment, mashallah. The reason why, wallahu alam and Allah knows best, the reason why the Qur'an has concentrated on these prophets is because the life of these prophets are central to the understanding of the one true religion which Allah sent. That one true religion did not come with Muhammad ﷺ for the first time. Islam did not come with Muhammad ﷺ. No. Islam came long before Muhammad ﷺ. Secondly, that in understanding true religion from the stories of these prophets, true religion, you will be able to decipher and separate the true from the false in the years which lie ahead after the revelation of the Qur'an. But most important of all, that in concentrating on the life of Musa alayhi salam and the events which occurred in his life, you will have a grasp, the capacity to grasp and to understand history as it will unfold after the revelation of the Qur'an. And so if you want to understand the world after the revelation of the Qur'an, you have to study the history of the prophets of Banu Israel mentioned in the Qur'an. And if you want to study the historical process and understand it, and in particular the end of history, the end of history, the events which will occur in the last age, you will have to pay special attention to a prophet named Musa alayhi salam, his story in the Qur'an. Wallahu a'lam. How did Banu Israel reach to Egypt? With Yusuf alayhi salam, correct? Who was taken as a slave, and then who was put in prison, and then who emerged to become prime minister. Who was the head of state of that territory when Yusuf became prime minister? Who was he? What was he called? Pharaoh. Do you all agree with him? Everybody? Who disagrees? It's a pity we can't get any answers from the sisters. Anyone disagrees? Or you all agree with this? Yes? What was he called? You forgot the? You forgot the name. N-A-M-E, name. The name of the? The name of the? K-I-N-G. King. So you're not saying a pharaoh. You're saying he was a king. Correct answer. Answer is correct. The Qur'an does not mention that the ruler was a pharaoh. There were many pharaohs, many pharaohs. But rather the Qur'an mentions that they were kings.